Jaros
Mr. Steve Jaros
against
Weber.
Pete Weber. You always need to bowl your best against Weber, and he begins with a strike.
Yep.
A strike for Jaros on lane 21 to begin our third round match. His wife June liked that. Pete is the #2 ranked bowler in the world. Last year becoming only the second player in PBA history to go over $2 million in earnings. And that's the way he does it.
And a solid start for Pete Weber. And where Guppy Troop was smiling and joking around, Pete Weber is all business.
With emotion, however.
Oh, yes. There's his wife, Tracy, who I believe is Mike this week.
And Weber in frame 2.
There's the emotion you talked about, and Tracy approves.
One thing about Weber, he's a bad man, bad man.
To the sideboard. Kind of reminiscent of Daddy Dick Weber when he used to knock that 4-5-7 out, but Dick Weber knocked it out going to the right. Pete, he makes him go over to the left.
Early pressure.
Look out. My gosh, what a shot. It looked as if it was going into the channel.
Ouch, the
and then
pocket.
It looked like it might hook high. Then it looked like it was perfect and ended up being a 10-pin.
Weber says, can I see that again?
A very unusual high flush 10-pin for Steve Jaros. Yeah, I'd like to take a look as he makes the 10-pin. I want to take a look to see exactly how that 10-pin stands up.
Wow, that's right.
Yeah, I will say wow as well. Watch how close he comes to going in the channel. Looks like it's gone right there.
Whoa.
Now it hooks up high, and that is just odd.
So a strike and a spare for Jaros as he moves to the third frame, down by 10. His first job as a teenager was in a bowling center, which gave him a chance to really work on his game.
He strikes on lane 21, and that ball was a good 4 boards left of where the one went on lane 22. You don't want to mess around with that kind of a burgundy colored board because it ain't going to be hooking out of that one.
Yeah, it's interesting that you talk about the different boards, because to the naked eye, all bowling lanes look pretty much the same. They're about 42 inches wide, about 60 feet long, but they aren't the same at all. And we talked about this early in the season, Marshall, but they're actually a lot like putting greens, aren't they?
Yes, they are. And we'll take a look at Weber as he does not get the ball to the right or fast enough either. A little slow and a little pull. Look out. And he goes right through, chops the 3 off the 6-10. But he's doing the right thing. You know, if you took a look at Pete after he missed that, he didn't get angry with himself. It was sort of, okay, that's all right. Only down by 7 pins.
Maybe the toughest thing to do is to forget about that roll and to move on to the next one.
Yeah, and we'll see Walter Ray in the next match. He's the best at being his best friend out there. As Pete Weber comes right back and strikes again. You know, sometimes if you're out there all by yourself, you've got to be able to say, that's okay. You know, I still have plenty of game left.
Jaros now in the 4th frame with an opportunity. +7 after Weber leads the open frame in the 3rd.
Good shot.
2 in a row now for Steve Jaros.
If we take a look at some more finalists, that's Curtis Odom finishing 14th and Mike Edwards in 15th place.
Jaros was our 3rd seed. This is our 3rd round match. We're 3 in a row.
Steve Jaros applying the pressure. Pete Weber must answer back. Last time on lane 22, left the 3-6-10, then chopped the 3 off the 6-10. Needs to make sure he keeps his speed up. Give that ball a chance to get down the lane before it dives back to the left. Much better shot.
Came in a little light, however.
Well, now he's got the famous highlight reel going where you high one shot, light the next. He certainly got that ball far enough to the right. Actually fortunate to knock the 10-pin out and just leave an easy spare. But right now, Pete Weber is struggling, Mike, and Steve Jaros, he's got things going pretty much his way.
Well, let's go back to this conversation about the bowling lanes being so different and being like putting greens. 39 identical boards, and yet no two are exactly alike.
No, well, there are inconsistencies on the lane. They're microscopic, they're minute, but they do have effects on the bowling ball. Pete Weber feeling very comfortable on 21, but he must learn how to strike on lane 22, or he won't have that chance to go against Walter Ray Williams in the title match.
Pete Weber wondering what he needs to do. He trails by 27 pins to this man, Steve Jaros. And our third round match continues in a moment. And so Steve Jaros with a 27 pin lead in our third round match against Pete Weber. He's up in the 6th frame on lane 22.
Steve Jaros trying to play the spoiler. He spoiled the fans' good time when he disposed of Guppy Troop, and now he's trying to dispose of Pete Weber. And there's a break that Pete Weber is very happy to have. And June, take a deep breath. This match isn't over yet. This is the lane that he came in so light on, but this time goes right through the heart. Makes a little bit of an adjustment. Gives it a try.
Nearly got it. Nearly left off the 10. But an open frame and an opportunity now for Pete Weber.
Right, and now Pete's only down by 12 pins. And as I was saying earlier, but take a look, you can see that he just didn't quite cut it thin enough, doesn't quite get there, takes the 9 pins. Lane 22, he almost threw the ball in the gutter a couple of frames ago. Last time, he pinched it a little bit high. Needs to forget about it. Strike in the 7th frame.
And neither Jaros nor Weber seem to be having any problems on lane 21.
We take a look at Eugene McCune, finishing 16th, and Harry Sullins wants to say hi to his fiancée. Mark Roth, the Hall of Famer, in 18th, and Jess Stayrook, the powerful lefty from Tempe, Arizona, 19th place.
Harry Sullins is our statistician. Stacy's birthday. Happy birthday to Stacy, Harry Sullins' fiancée. And Pete Weber with a strike.
That cuts the lead to 2 pins. That's the lane he was having trouble on. Taking a re-rack on lane 21. Didn't like the way the pins were set up. Maybe a little bit, probably a little closed with the 1 and the 3 pin. A little bit too close together.
In talking with Pete last night, he knew he'd have a tough match with either Arnold, Troop, or Jaros in his first round match. In his first round match, the third round match of our tournament. Oop, there's the 10 pin.
Oh. Almost. He really got away with one there. He got it a little bit wide. He knew he didn't throw it perfectly, but still had a chance to strike. Look how deep that ball was. Steep, I mean. It comes into the pocket, and the 10 pin almost gets rolled over, but not quite. Make that spare, Petey. You're still only down by 3 pins.
Weber with the spare. As I was saying, even though he knew his first effort would be tough, he wants Walter Ray Williams.
Oh, you bet he does. I mean, let's face it, folks, that's a rivalry. I mean, they've both won 24 times. They want to win.
Jaros.
All of a sudden, he's lost lane 22. He liked it off his hand. That shot surprised him, leaves the 3-6-10. Same one that Pete Weber chopped in the 3rd frame. You can see defeated Pete Weber earlier in the week. And he makes the 3-6-10, covers it nicely to keep that lead, but you can see the 2 wives sitting next door to each other. They're both got a little pensive look on their face.
Both a look of concern. Jaros, by the way, I'm not sure he wants me mentioning this, but he bowled a 129 in a 92 television event.
Not the kind of record you'd want.
No, that was the lowest total ever bowled on PBA Tour history on television.
As Jaros leaves the 2-8 on lane 21, now only leading by 1 pin. Very important for him to make this not an easy spare.
That's pretty classic coming from the woman who's kept her
In the ninth frame, to keep that
thing you
lead.
want to do, though, is leave the door open for a guy like Pete Weber. Because Weber smells blood, loves to go in for the kill.
And he has left the door open. Pete Weber, if he were to strike in the 9th, 10th, and 11th, he would win this match. Pete Weber can shoot 222. The best Steve Jaros can do, 213. One pin down, Pete Weber, lane 22.
Coming off last week's win at the National Championship in Toledo.
No.
Still has not found the range. On lane 22, continuing to give both players difficulty.
Now, Pete Weber, he thinks he throws a good shot, but this lane is starting to hook early. Right in the front part of the lane. Leaves a 3-10 split. Now, he missed the 3-6-10 earlier. I really think he'll make this. He's generally a great spare shooter. Come on, Petey. Ooh, that's right, Petey. Make me look good. Make it easy.
I didn't think he had that much.
Well, he throws the ball very, very hard. He throws the ball hard. This is a non-reactive ball, so it doesn't take much, and he's able to take care of the 3-10 split. Now down by 3 pins once again, but he can still, if he strikes in the 9th and 10th, I mean, excuse me, in the 10th and the 11th, he can take that lead again. Important shot.
On lane 20.
Look out.
Again, he comes in high. And perhaps overcompensating for what's happening on lane 22.
Yeah, it looks like he's really lost his form a little bit as far as his release is concerned, and that can happen when you start struggling with the lanes. And right now, if I'm Walter Ray Williams Jr., I'm feeling pretty good about my chances of winning this tournament because neither Steve Jaros or Pete Weber is doing anything right now.
Walter Ray Williams Jr. waiting in the wings, the #1 player in the world, is also our top seed, and we'll get the winner of this match. Weber.
Still important to get all 10 of them, Petey. He switched right. He switched balls.
Finishes with a 199.
Well, very simple for Steve Jaros. He needs to fill 17 pins in the 10th frame. Any combination of a 17 fill or better, he's your winner.
One of the things Steve will do when he comes to the line is he tries to forget about the troubles that he might be having, is put a song in his head.
Well, he had trouble on this. He had trouble on that lane in the 8th frame.
He's singing now.
Yeah, he's singing now. He's going to be bowling. That's right, June. He's there in the title game. It'll be against Walter Ray Williams Jr. She's watching. She's praying. Yay. Oh, those poor wives and girlfriends. All they can do is just sit there and hope. It's a tough position.
Weber finishing with a 199.
He's just saving.
Jaros.
And it's 9. Oof.
Gets the 9.
Very
And
intense.
Pete Weber is applauding Steve Jaros, sticks his hand out saying, nice going. Nice sportsmanship from Petey. Shaking his head.
His bid for a 25th title will have to wait another day. Jaros finishing off. Pete Weber, 203
That's
to
203,
199 in our
That's a good
third round
match.
match. And that means
Hope you like
Jaros
it,
will move
subscribe.
on